News Radio 840 WHAS. Good Sunday morning. Bob Sokoler, the Louisville Real Estate Show. And we're here with you till the top of the hour. Lots of stuff to talk about, so let's get into it. First, let's introduce, actually, the people who will be participating in today's show. Chuck Crosby. He's the owner of the Crosby Law Offices. He does not only great services in getting your loan closed, but also a lot of other things, including wills, which you may consider wanting to update because as far as all of us are concerned, don't take it off the internet. That's not the right way to do this. Yeah. This is too important. Also here, Brad Lawler, owner of Home Team Inspection Service. They come in as a team. They do a great job. And we all of us on the show have used Brad and his team and really appreciate their professionalism. You can reach Brad at 844-411-TEAM. And then my son, Greg. My son Greg does our marketing, photography, and so much more. And he is here also as well. And you can reach me anytime because we're selling those homes. And this is really the perfect time to talk about getting the home on the market at 376-5483. And incidentally, this is a good time to tell you about, we have 5 ways to help you sell your home and just about guaranteed to help you find your next home without having to first close on your first home. There's a really good thing here. Go to our new URL. This is the website. Go to bobsellmyhome.com or sellmyhomebob.com. Got it? Bob, sell my home.
That's better than some of the ones in your past.
Yeah, I thought
that's a fun one.
I was last week. I was on vacation, sunny, and I said, I got a good idea. Okay, anyway, let's get to it. Mortgage rates continue to rise, nearly a full percentage point higher than a year ago. House hunters should brace themselves for rates near 4% before the end of the year. That's according to economists. By the way, in case you're keeping track, the 30-year mortgage rate was up to 3.69% this past week. Inflation has surged in the past year, up 7.5%. That's the biggest gain since 1982, according to the Labor Department. And CNBC is reporting that household items are surging in price year over year. For example, I don't know if you guys know this. If you went out to buy a living room, kitchen furniture, dining room furniture, it's up 19.9%. That's a lot of money.
Everyone that's in new construction, brace. And if your agent is not bracing you for what's coming down the line, somebody should heed this warning now. Just be prepared.
Prices are up. Yep. Moving on, some interesting and I thought funny news. Singles are jumping into the housing market, particularly single women. And to find out where they are most attracted to, Lending Tree researchers analyzed several factors. They were looking for the single person income, percentage of single households, median monthly housing, rent, and more. Really, they looked at the top 50 cities in the country. And what was interesting about this, folks, is the top 3 cities will blow you away. Buffalo, New York was number 1. Cleveland, Ohio, number 2. And can anybody guess what number 3 is? Yes, Louisville, Kentucky. It's one of the top places for singles to buy homes. I know everybody. Brad is going, really?
Yeah, I get number 3. I've been to number 1 and number 2, and I don't know why.
Yeah, no, I get number 3.
I was going to figure Austin, Texas would have been number 1. I mean, unless the trend had just suddenly stopped because of inventory. I mean, everyone that I know, my generation that's single, left either California and New York City, moved to Austin, Texas, some moved to Louisville, some moved home. Smaller market towns, even Oklahoma City, Buffalo, surprising.
Final story, pandemic fueled great resignation. We've talked about this on this show. A lot of people pulling out of their jobs really has prompted a lot of people to find new jobs. And so there was a search done for the top Google searches. And I'll give you these in order of number 5. By the way, just so you know, Chuck, attorney and Brad, home inspection, that wasn't on the top 5 searches for what can I do now with my life. Number 5 was a pilot.
There's a reason for that.
There's a reason for that. I think we got it. Pilot was 5, therapist was 4, notary 3, flight attendant number 2, and the number 1 search term was how do I become a real estate agent? Realtor. How about them apples? Who would have ever thought?
I had one ask me last night after a home inspection class that I taught.
Really? How do I become a realtor?
Yeah, I had one of the students want to know how to become a broker.
send them our way, because we're always looking to expand our team. All right, so we've got questions. We're in our COVID mode. That means very simply, you send me an email, put it in the subject line, a radio question, give me the body of the email, put the question in, and send it, because we're doing this via Zoom. That Zoom, by the way, gets rebroadcast and goes up to YouTube, and you can see that. LouisvilleAnswers.com. That's LouisvilleAnswers.com is where you can see this rebroadcast. And so let's start with this one for Chuck. And I gave you a heads up on this question, Chuck, because I'd never heard of this. David writes in that he owns his house. He's made payments on it and just found out that someone else has assumed a legal title on the house and put it up for sale. So, Chuck, is that called quiet title? Is that what the story is on that?
No, there's a lot of. Let's back this up a little bit.
Sure.
A quiet title action is an action to say, hey, this is my property. Okay. Let's say that I've been living on it and you're claiming my backyard. We can't come to terms. You go to court and you let the judge determine who's got what. Yeah. Okay. So it's not like, when you Google the thing, because that's what I did first. Yeah. To see how prevalent it is. There's all these websites up there saying, oh, you can get out of your mortgage. You just file a quiet title action. And they kept saying things about quiet title statutes. And it seems to be a lot of noise out there. A quiet title action is simply saying, this is my property. I'm willing to defend it. And I'm taking you to court to say, get a judge to agree with me. It's that simple.
So help David and the rest of us who own homes. How do we protect ourselves? Yeah, go ahead.
This is that whole legal, or what is it, title lock commercial that you hear?
Yes.
That kind of thing, which, by the way, the Jefferson County clerk is offering. They've got a service just like that. But anyhow, the idea is I can forge a deed to your property and record it. Okay, so now the record looks like I own your property, and then I go to sell it. Shoot, if you're going to file a fake quiet title action, why not just forge a deed? Because that's basically what a lot of these people are doing. They're coming in and they're saying, hey, I own your property for whatever reason. I'm going to sue you for that. But the little blurb you sent me was relating to immigrants, where they may not, the person comes in, they lie about whether they know where the people are. They serve them constructively by putting notices in the newspaper and whatnot. And then they go through and get their judgment. The problem is that judgment is as good as the information it's based on. Okay. Paper doesn't change reality. So when the person comes back and they say, oh, hey, somebody's, taken title to my property, whether it's by a forged quitclaim deed, whether it's by an order where you left certain things out, you can always get those things turned around. Wherever
I'm still here. Hey, it's me. Hey.
So you're saying
this is not
is this much to do about nothing then, or should we be concerned?
No, I'm not saying it's not. There are a large group of people these days engaging in what we call paper terrorism. Okay, I don't like you, or I'm a sovereign citizen and I feel like, irritating a federal judge. I file $1 million lien against his property and get it recorded. Paper terrorism, that kind of stuff. I go in and I try and, quitclaim your property to me. When you're talking about residential, though, there's a paper trail a mile wide. It's like me breaking into your house, stealing your stuff, and leaving a card so that you can call me later. Okay, there's all kinds of things you can do to fix it. It is unfortunate when it happens. It doesn't happen that much in Kentucky that I could find. I think there was one case up near the Ohio border, but in any event, there's lots of things you can do. But the real problem is when a person does that, they don't go and borrow money against the house. What they do is they try and sell it. So the person that's going to get the pinch is the person who buys it. Title insurance covers just that.
Okay. So we're going to give out Chuck's phone number, and if you don't have title insurance, if you've got a mortgage, you've got mortgage insurance, but not owner's title insurance. You want to talk to Chuck about that. And
plus there's an easy way to figure out if it's being done to you, the home title lock and that sort of thing. They have alerts from the county clerk's website. I could get on the county clerk's website in probably under a minute and a half and figure how many transactions have occurred under your name on your property in the last couple of years. And it goes all the way back to 1984. But it's simple to figure that stuff out.
We'll give you Chuck's number in a bit. It's worth to have his on speed dial, I think. All right. Just FYI, we've got our new newsletter out. If you'd like to sign up for it free of charge, no obligation, go to welovelouisville.com. That's welovelouisville.com. All right, Bradley, there's two questions that are somewhat similar, as you'll see, but one of them also involves Chuck. Let's start with number one. Dan sent us an email. He saw the stories on carbon monoxide leaks several hotels and motels, and he was wondering how can he protect himself both in his house and when he travels with his girlfriend. They're the cheap ones, right? The ones you can find on Amazon, $20 or so.
Yeah, the carbon monoxide detectors. Yes, I mean certainly that's an option. They plug into the wall and they will alert anytime it gets over 20 parts per million accumulation in the room. So yeah, it'd be cheap insurance. I don't know all the ins and outs of what happened. I understand one of the circumstances at a hotel was in a pool area with the malfunctioning heater. Heater, I'm sure was functioning correctly. It was a malfunctioning vent exhaust that was causing the carbon monoxide to build up in that pool area. Right now it's in wintertime. I still, will say if you have any appliance that is burning a sort of fuel, then you need to have it vented. You can't just bring it into a room, turn it on without some sort of vent, even though they're technically built for that. Carbon monoxide is a byproduct of the combustion product, combustion process, and it will build up if it's not vented. So any type of fuel burning stove that you bring into a house has to have some sort of ventilation in the home so that you don't build up carbon monoxide.
So I know Chuck, Greg, we all travel. Everybody's listening.
Yeah, I was literally just at a cabin in Colorado where they had a couple of those plugged in. There's a there's a gas burning, one of those older, very comfortable, gorgeous cabins, but had wood or gas burning stove in there. You turn it on for thermostat. And so the rule was, leave the door cracked a little bit, and there was thermostats all throughout that's measured.
The problem is, so let's say you're going to go on a cruise, maybe next week, and you're going to be in a room on a ship. Should you order from Amazon they're battery operated? There's one I saw for $22 that is a 10-year battery. So is that worth purchasing for anybody who's traveling?
I traveled for years and years and never thought about it. But of course, the circumstances here at these two hotels very recently, kind of gives you pause, because one of the couples got sick in a bedroom, in a room, not a pool area. So probably not a bad idea. I mean, they don't take up much space. May not be a bad idea. Throw it in your bag and
your worry wart definitely helps.
Yeah.
Peace of mind.
Follow that.
Yep. The other question, Samantha says that she's selling her condo. There's a possibility of a gas leak in the wall. She wants to know if she has to have it repaired, if it's her responsibility. And Chuck, this is where you're coming in on this after Brad answers. Will the condo association, force her to have it repaired one way or another? So, Brad, any knowledge that can help her?
Thinking the same thing.
Well, I mean, the only thing I would say, I mean, if she thinks she's got a leak, it's probably because she's smelling something, And
call LG&E.
Right, exactly. At that point, I'm calling LG&E to
don't wait.
Wait until your
HOA to respond to an email about a gas leak. You might want to call 411.
But she's worried but she's worried there's going to be repairs and she's going to pay for it. I think from the legal standpoint, the answer, Chuck, is
it depends on the condo docs. Some condos, like a Hills condo, they take care of everything all the way to the drywall on the inside of the house. Other condos will parse it out and say, well, no, if it's a single use element, then it's going to be a limited common element and it's going to be yours to fix. It just depends on the condo. You have to.
And generally speaking, again, we don't know the condo specifically, but if it's a gas line to a water heater or they're running gas to a stove. Generally,
you're going to have to pay for it.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And you want to, again, those are emergencies. If you smell gas buildup, you need to call the proper people to have the gas.
Do not wait.
Fine. Don't. All
right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, if you are not sleeping well, we may actually have the reason that's happening. We'll tell you about that in a
puppy,
second.
A new puppy. That
could be a new puppy if you're having, because Greg has a new puppy. So, but with us here, Chuck Crosby, the Crosby Law Offices, and here's that number to write down and put on the speed dial: 499-6360. Also for home team inspection services, you can't find a better group. Number 1, 7 years in a row now for home team. They are at 844-411-TEAM. You can reach me anytime, and even though it's cold outside, well, we had some warm weather last week. We are still listing, selling homes at a record rate, and we'd love to help you at least get organized in what we need to get you to be able to sell. It's a simple call to me, free, no obligation, 376-5483. And that includes my son, Greg, who does our photography, marketing, and so much more. We're back in a moment on News Radio 840 WHAS. News Radio 840 WHAS, Bob Sokoler, the Louisville Real Estate Show, here with you till the top of the hour. Thank you so much, Barbara Corcoran, for your endorsement and friendship. With us, Brad Lawler, owner of Home Team Inspection Service at 844-411-TEAM. Also, the amazing Chuck Crosby, who not only does loan closings, but also does wills and a variety of other things. And you can reach him at 499-6360. My son, Greg, who does our marketing, photography, so much more, with us as well. And you can reach me anytime to help you get your home on the market. We've got teams of agents ready to help you actually find a home. You can reach me at 376-5483. So there are some things in the bedroom that could keep you from sleeping. And tell me if any of you happen to have this similar problem, because let's face it, the bedroom is supposed to be a place to relax and rest and steer clear of these paint colors. If you have red, orange, yellow, maybe yellow, dark brown, lime green, you want to steer clear of those. White, white, not so bad. Steel gray, while gray walls can create a soothing neutral space, steel gray usually appears cold and confrontational, which really comes down to, so what colors are left in my mind?
Steel gray is strong.
Grayish.
I mean,
yeah.
Like, look at my wall. If you are watching, like, look at Brad's walls, look at my walls behind me, Bob's walls. He's in an office complex. They're more of a khaki. Same with Chuck. You got the office colors, and you look at Brad and mine. There's more homey, neutral colors. If you're looking on mine, more of a gray, not steel, but a very light gray tone,
or light tan. Anyway, if you want to see these colors, by the way, you go to LouisvilleAnswers.com is what it comes down to. It's just so you know. Good. Back to the questions we go. Scott's moving here from a state where sewer inspections, he writes, are required as part of buying the house. Yet he understands that those types of inspections, the sewers, are not required here. He's wondering, why is there a difference between different inspection standards between Louisville area, Southern Indiana, and parts of the rest of the country?
That's a great question. I think what it is it's traditions that have been put in place. And I don't know anything about California requirements, but in Kentucky and in Indiana, while sewer scopes are absolutely advised for many, many homes in the area, few were ever done. And there are not many people who are doing sewer scopes. I met with a guy recently who just started a company, and the only thing he's going to be doing is sewer scopes. So we'll see how that goes for him. I know that last year, I think we looked it up. We recommended 300 different times that a sewer scope was recommended to our clients.
Do you use the terminology slow to drain? Is that what the term?
So oftentimes it's slow to drain, or it's a house that has been vacant for a period of 6 months or more, or it's in those parts of towns where we know that they have clay tiles and they have a lot of tree roots, and probably the likelihood of those tiles collapsing is pretty high.
Got it. All right. Well, we wish you the very best on that one, and let's move on. Chuck. Lori, buying her second house, wondering, I guess goes the basic information for every buyer and seller. What taxes and recording fees are associated with both buying and selling a home?
Okay, well, with selling a home, obviously you have to have releases done on any liens that are on the property, but that's usually worked into a payoff. Like with your mortgage, you get a payoff. That payoff includes a release fee. So you're paying it, just not on a settlement statement, so you don't really see it. But anything that needs released, would need to be picked up. But there's a transfer tax of $1 per thousand.
That's in any county, correct?
That's in every county. That's straight across Kentucky.
Okay.
Or as the clerk say, 50 cents per 500. So you've got that.
Sounds better that way, honestly.
Yeah, $1 per thousand, $100,000, $100. Anyhow, on the buyer's side, they're going to have $50 to record a deed, recording of mortgages, any riders with the mortgage, and everything's based on the length of the document. It's X amount for so many pages, so much thereafter. Usually, just count on about $180.
They get you coming and going. They really do.
Unless it all depends on how you're purchasing the home,
right?
What the mortgage, what your lender's fees are, and all of those things. But the line for your second home, unless you're just buying it cash, great for you.
Yeah. But if you're living in Norton Commons, Greg, what's the extra fee that they throw on over there?
Oh, that's
the percent. Listen, Casey's a listing agent. We bring Casey on for that stuff. But I mean,
there's an extra percentage.
It's not that bad. It's for the resale. It's part of the HOA, but it's much like the transfer tax, the county tax. I think it's like 50 cents. It's cheaper than that. It's nothing insane.
All right, just wondering. All right, John writes in for Brad. He's about to buy a house with a pool that is covered because it's winter. He's trying to figure out how to make sure the pool's in good working order, and is there an inspector who does pool inspections in the winter?
If there is, I do not know who it is. There are so few pool inspectors in town anyway. This is a common question, and really even just lifting up a corner of the cover does no good because it's like looking into a black hole. The water levels are down when they close them, and you just are not going to be able to see the liner or anything else. So it is one of those things that, I guess the agents work out between themselves that the inspection is going to come once the pool is uncovered.
Some of that before,
yeah. Some of the mechanisms, the pumps and filters, those systems can be viewed, but they can't be operated. So really, all you're doing is you can age some of the equipment. You can see how it's set up, but that's really all you can do in the wintertime. Once they're winterized, there's not a way to bring them back to life unless you're going through the entire process and then draining them and winterizing them again.
What if you hired? Yeah, good.
I was going to say, you can get a good judgment. I mean, we've had some in the past, the exact same thing. What do you do? Well, you would wait until you open the pool. You could write some sort of contingency, but you're going to know based off of the age of a home. You can see lack of maintenance. You can go walk over to the pump and you can see the outside of the pump. Is there anything leaking? Does it look like the O-rings need to be replaced? Is the pump, how old is the pump? Like Brad said, aging it. And then writing some sort of protection into your contract, putting something aside in escrow, whatever the case may be, to protect yourself outside of the.
Could you turn it on? Could you go ahead and hire someone who's got a scuba diver license to dive into the pool? I'm joking. I'm joking here. Brad's looking at us.
Brad's looking for a certification.
Well, no, because Bob, I've seen people actually lift corners up and think that they can take a high power light and shine it against the wall. Because I've had buyers told that, and you don't see what the liner looks like. It just doesn't.
Got it.
The effect is wrong.
You got to go in and wait for it to clear up. Yeah. We have 5 ways now to help you sell your home, and just about guaranteed to help you find your next home. Our new URL to go to, this is what you'll type in a browser, bobsellmyhome.com or sellmyhomebob.com. That's right, sellmyhomebob.
I already remember.
See how good that is, and you can even fill out a form, and I'll call you. So there you go.
We've come a long way since grabbob.com.
We really have. Grabbob.
Unfortunately, that we moved on.
bobsellmyhome.com. Joshua buying a condo. Just heard from his soon-to-be next-door neighbor that the Condo Association sent out a letter about a special assessment for new roofs next month, and now Joshua is worried that he'll have to pay for the assessment. Is he locked into buying the condo if the seller doesn't pay the assessment? Chuck, what's the legal ramifications here?
Well, when you've got an assessment like that that's already been set up and it's got a pay date, we treat that just like a tax. I mean, that needs to be paid at closing, and that's one of the questions we ask when we call up the associations: is are there any assessments that have already been put into place? And that can be a big deal. You don't want to go in and not have that checked. Still amazes me that there are some places that do closings that don't check with the HOAs.
That is amazing. So, Chuck, to be clear, if the letter has been produced and sent out, even if the seller doesn't live at the condo, they are still responsible for paying that assessment.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a tricky one, and because
so we're saying, could the buyer back out? Is that what I'm following there? If you're the buyer,
if he refuses to pay it,
it's the seller refuses to pay the tax
on that property. Yeah.
Does he collect damages if he does back out? I know we're going far on this deep, but it's kind of interesting.
I don't know about that. Yeah,
but
that's just the same as if you had some other deficiency on a title or some other bill he refused to pay. Oh, I'm not paying off my mortgage.
Yeah.
Right. No, like Chuck says, Chuck always brings it back down to reality. If there's already a date and there's already a dollar amount, then this is not something that just popped up last second. Maybe he knew, the seller must have known, should have known,
knew or should have,
and maybe the seller is reluctant in wanting to pay it, but truthfully, if you backed out, the seller has to come to the realization that he's going to pay it anyway. So otherwise, the condo association that coming after
still owns the place.
So so he may be reluctant, but hopefully his agent will have a heart-to-heart and say, "Listen, you got the deal. Just get it paid and move on." So we are out of time. My thanks, as always, to the always popular and witty Chuck Crosby of the Crosby Law Offices. Again, put him on speed dial. He answers a lot of questions and is a really good guy. 499-6360. Also, in that same ilk, I would say, bred from that same ilk, Brad Lawler, another great guy. Put him on speed dial because he'll answer questions if you got him anytime. And you can reach Brad and the team at 844-411-TEAM. And while we're on the attitude of good guys, my son Greg is a great guy, does our photography, marketing, and so much more. He's been really busy with photography. I just ordered a new gizmo for my camera, which I'm going to let him use if he wants to play around with it for even adding another level of professional. We're kicking it, and that's good. So and you can reach me anytime because we are on a regular basis looking to help you sell your home. Free, call me, no obligation. I'll come out, we'll talk about what needs to be done or not done, and then how the process works. And you can reach me at 376-5483. Or remember, go to bobsellmyhome.com or sellmyhomebob.com.
That's
right. It's easy. Okay. We're out of time. See you all next Sunday on News Radio 840 WHAS.